Hey guys, so today I've just started dismantling this sh50 engine, the spare one that I had, and getting it ready to take the crank and everything out that I need for the other one. But while I was doing that, I thought I'd do a video for you, just for anyone that's never taken one of these apart, just to basically show you how it comes apart and not have you scratching your head for about an hour before you figure it out. So I have this all already took apart, but I'm just going to roughly show you. Right, so first of all, you've got your fan piece. There's 4 bolts in it. It would be here. You take the 4 bolts out. There we are, 4 bolts. Then you will have this flywheel, or starter as they call it, and it'll have a nut on it here, like that. You undo that nut. It's not a backwards thread, it's a normal thread, and that's attached to the crank, so I just screw it back on there so they won't lose it. Then you got to buy yourself one of these. This is for pulling the starter off. These can be very hard to get off if you don't have something like this. The way that works is, once you've removed the nut, you would screw this into the center of this. It's a backwards thread for this part, so see the way I'm screwing that in, it's backwards. So you do that, then you hold it here with one wrench, and then you get another and you screw it down and it pulls it up. You'll feel a crack sometimes whenever it loosens up, and then all you have to do is wriggle it and keep wriggling until you get it off. So that's that bit. So then the oil pump. Now it can be very confusing because a lot of people don't realise that you have to take the starter out, and they'll start fidgeting trying to get at the back of this. There's a plate on this, and it's very hard to get a wrench in that or anything to loosen that up. But my point is here is that you don't need to do that. You need to just get in here. Right, I'll just show you what way we're looking at the engine here. Right, so you've got your flywheel here. That's the head, obviously. And on this side, you'll be looking for 2 bolts where the starter fits in. And there they are there. See them? Here and here. And you loosen them up. Now, starters can get pretty badly stuck in position, and you'll think that you need more bolts out, but that's not the case. You only need the 2 out. You just need to hammer at it a bit to get it out of there. This one I'm happy enough with. Seems to be a good starter. I tested it earlier, so that's a keeper. And then you see, once you have your starter removed, if I can just show you, there's a little bolt there. Do you see? Little bolt there and a little tab, and that tab would be in position there, and you take this bolt out. And once you have that done, you can literally pull your oil pump out and the plate and all stays on it. So that's the easiest way to take that off. Then it's just a matter of getting in at your starter and loosening. There's 2 bolts here for your starter to hold it in position. There and there. It's only 2. So you loosen them, and that should loosen your starter, and then you can pull it back, you see. And I always put the bolts back in position just so that I don't lose them and I know where to go. And then you undo these 4 bolts here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And that's your casings. There's another one here. Anything that you can see, another one here. Where else can I see one? I think that's it. I think that's all the bolts you need to loosen up. So you take them out of position and you hit it a good whack with a rubber mallet or something, and hopefully you'll be lucky enough that it'll come off easy enough. It'll come out, but sometimes you can have to work at it a little bit to get it off, but it should come off. So that's how far on I am, guys, and I will make another wee bit of video here in a second whenever I get the casing off. Okay, so you'll see that one of the bolts from the inside in the middle of this is longer than the others, which is why I always set them like this whenever I take them out. I top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, so I know they're the bolts and where they came out of, and I'll set them aside in the exact way that I have taken them out, and I'll know then that that's where they belong when I go to put it back together. But in this case I won't be putting this engine back together, I'll be using the parts for another engine. So, but that's what you would do if you were going to be working at it and going to be putting it back together. So I'm just going to loosen this bolt now, and that should be it. Okay, so that's, I think, what is the final bolt is loosened up there, and I'm going to hit a little crack with a mallet and see how we get on. So I'll see if I can find somewhere to put these that I'll not knock my phone over and break the screen like I've already broke it, but I could make it worse. So see if I can get these a place here so you can watch. Yeah, that ought to be good enough, I'd say. If I can get this to sit here without too much hassle. Yeah, that'll do. So, rubber mallet, guys. Don't use a normal hammer, because you will break casings or crack them or something. You don't want to do that. You want to leave them usable. Even if you're not going to use the engine, you still want to leave the casings usable for someone else or something. Sometimes you have to beat away at this for a good while before you move. Yeah, I just knocked my spanners down, but I can see a little bit of movement here, which is good. I'm probably going to have to beat at this quite a bit, so bear with me. I do have a small bit of movement. Guys, this could take a while, and I might have to take it down onto a solid surface like the floor here. So bear with me, and I'll be back with you in a second. So whenever you get your casing removed, this is what it looks like. And this is your crank bearing and your crank, and then you have to get the bearing unseated from behind here, and you have to get this off the shaft, which I may have to heat that to do. By the way, the trouble that I was having there a little minute ago getting the casing off was that I forgot there was two of these bolts, not just one. That's the bolts that are up on the top of the head here. See here? There's two of them. So just to be aware of that. And I did that the last time I pulled one of these apart too. So, well, with some heat and some gentle persuasion with the mallet, I managed to get my crank out, and this is what you should be left with. The bearing that side of it, bearing that side of it. Don't beat at it too much, because you will put it off balance, so do be very careful what you do with it. But that's good enough for me to use in this other bike, so that's what I'm going to do. Bearings are good, and we'll see where we go from there.